What's up, everybody? This is Jose from Still in Life.
And Katie.
Welcome to downtown Fort Myers. The day after getting destroyed by a hurricane. Let's drive around downtown like we usually do. It's not the first time we do a video in downtown Fort Myers. The only difference is this time it looks a little bit different. There are people just taking in the sights, and I'm gonna be honest, it's okay. There's a lot of I was listening to the radio, and they're shaming people for doing a lot of things. I'm gonna go ahead and give you my raw, solid opinion. Of course, you have to stay safe. There's no doubt about that. You have to stay safe. But let me just tell you, there's a lot of shaming going on the news, and let me tell you my personal opinion about the other people that I hear. Like, I'm listening to the radio. I never listen to the radio, by the way. The radio is something of the past at this point. Listen to the radio when you're in a hurricane. There's no power, no light. You have to listen to them at that point. But under normal circumstances, radio is just that irrelevant at this point, or you don't even listen to it anymore. It's that irrelevant. But I'm listening to the radio for the first time in years, probably, because, like I said, it's irrelevant unless you don't have power or light, and then you have to go back to medieval things to get your communications, like after a hurricane. But I'm listening to the radio, and I can't believe how PC'd out and how much shaming. The radio is embarrassing, bro. They're just so delayed and so outdated and so out of disconnect with the reality of life these days. I'm listening to the radio, and they're like, don't go out there and tour the damage. It's dangerous. Oh, it'd be embarrassing if you were out there touring damage. It's, you're in the way of the crews. But here's the catch, guys. If you listen carefully, we're gonna send our crews out there. And then they're trying to blame small-time YouTubers and small-time news networks, and they're trying to say that they're the only ones who can be out there giving the news. I'm a news reporter just like you are. I'm a news reporter just like the news is a news reporter. I'm a news reporter too. I'm a freelancer, but there's no difference between me and Wake News. No difference between me and NBC, or me and a radio station. Okay, thank you. There's no difference. We're all news reporters. Thought I put this on Do Not Disturb. I'm getting messages. Dang it. We're all news reporters. This is all, by the way, underwater. You can tell that there's parts of docks and stuff floating around downtown Fort Myers. It's okay. We went through a stressful storm. You want to get out of the house. You want to know what happened. See with your own eyes. It is okay, man. As long as you're, stay the crap out of the work crew's way. And make sure you don't travel. Use common sense and don't get hurt. But this whole the catch with these radio stations and stuff is, we're going to send our crews out there, and we're going to be the ones that are going to tell you. It ain't that funny. So you go out and they shame small creators like myself. I like to refer to myself as a journalist or a reporter all the time. I do it all the time on our channel. But they want to shame small creators like us and small reporters into making us feel like we're not good enough to make things. Why are you better than me? NBC or Wake News, I'm not being specific, I'm just saying in general, as a generalization, right? Those are the news networks down here. Why are you better than me? What makes you more credible than me? I'm a freelancer. I don't have a boss. And I've always asked myself, the guy that's out on the news with the news reporting, I want to know how much he makes. I want to know if he makes more money than me. Because if it's about being bigger, I'm not talking about his boss that owns the company. I'm talking about the news reporter themselves. Do they make more money than me? I would like to know the answer to that question. I'd love to put my revenue versus theirs, and see if they're more. If they have, and how many people do they reach in a month versus how many people I reach in a month? Because there's a lot of shaming going on part of the news. They're pretty much shaming people into thinking they're not supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And then the people that hear that believe it. And then they come and attack me. I was on live stream. I couldn't believe how many people were attacking me, just kind of saying stuff like, oh, you're not supposed to be out there. Only the news is supposed to be out there. You're not the news. Why not? I'm a news reporter too. what's to say that my YouTube channel can't be bigger than theirs? Matter of fact, I had one YouTube video. There's a boat in downtown. There's several boats in downtown Fort Myers. I'll turn on so y'all can see it. What's to say that, like, I uploaded a YouTube video and it got 75,000 views in a 24-hour period. One video that I did got 75,000 views in a 1-hour period. Now, that's more than the news's video. And not only that, but the people were saying that I did a better job than the news, and that's not my job. My job is to be driving around showing you guys the hood and stuff. So imagine if I put myself out there to be more of a professional news reporter, what type of work we'd be doing. Very good work, to be honest. But I always find it interesting how during these times, you know, the news, I'm listening to it on the radio, and they're like, you know, these small-time YouTubers and small creators, and they think they're the real news, and they can go out there, and only the real news can be out there, and they, you know, they're trying to shame you into feeling like what you're doing isn't as important as what they're doing. You know, and people believe it. Law enforcement believes it. Not all law enforcement. There's some law enforcement. There's great law enforcement. There's a lot of young people in law enforcement here in Lee County. This county here, Lee County, I really like. You know, me, I feel like I've dealt with discrimination from law enforcement in other places, so I like law enforcement here in Lee County a lot. Compared to other places, there's a lot of young people. I feel more comfortable here than a lot of other places. That's why I moved here. After everything that I went through in Alabama, everything I went through in Naples, I wanted to be somewhere where I could feel a bit more comfortable. But as you can see, guys, this whole area of Fort Myers is under storm surge. There's just cars floating, you know, cars that floated around. This is just so bad for the business owners. There's people that believe that, you know, and then they feel like they don't have to give me as a creator the journalistic credits that I deserve. But if you look today in downtown Fort Myers, there's more independent journalists out here today, freelancers like me, YouTube creators, and people have their own blogs. There's more of them than the actual news. And the actual news, with their rhetoric, you could call it, with their PC'd out liability talk, has watered down their content, you know. And it's crazy because I'm sitting here watching a guy by a boat dock, and he's telling the news everything. He's telling the news, well, it was 3 in the morning, and I was in my underwear, and I was watching a flick on the hub, and I couldn't believe I had, you know. And I'm sitting there like, you tell everything to the news, you know, you tell the news people everything, but then you see a small YouTuber like me, and you're like, why are you recording? You're not the real news. Well, we are the real news. You're just not with the real times. But you can tell this Mercedes-Benz probably got washed away. But very horrific sight here in Fort Myers, but we will recover, my man. We will be back to palm trees and homeless people headbutting people in no time, okay? We will be back, Fort Myers. We're going to clean all this crap up, and we're going to have homeless people out here headbutting tourists in no time like before, okay? We'll get through this. I know we will get through this, Fort Myers. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a lot of hard work. When I say hard work, I mean like y'all are going to work hard. I'm just going to record it. And then we will have homeless people out here headbutting tourists in no time. Okay, we'll get back to normal. We'll get back to normal, Fort Myers. We can do this. But it's a bad sight here. And, you know, clearly storm surge is never a pretty sight. But Fort Myers looks different. A lot of the trees are gone. A lot of the coconuts have been stolen when they fell to the ground. It's a different sight today. There's boats in the middle of the road.
They had to get the sea tow because the boats came in.
Yeah. Well, it's like, not only how dumb these news networks are and stuff, but then how people swallow it up. There's just like random boats out here.
Yeah.
Out on the, you know, like.
Yeah, they had to set
You
the
can,
seat
you,
toe
can,
out.
you can tell there's a lot of real professional, like expensive cameras and stuff. But I always wondered, doesn't an iPhone record in the same resolution as their crap pretty much at this point?
Yeah.
These iPhones are ever since these iPhones came out, I still use a GoPro once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to have a lot of. There's like 50 boats in downtown right here.
Yeah.
I hadn't even seen that. There's like 50 boats that just plowed into the. But it is what it is. The smell of gasoline is unbearable,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had like a headache from eating junk food.
Yeah.
There's boats like all over the place.
Yeah.
Look how high the storm surge came. You can see the line, guys. So this is a 2500 truck, and the water would have been over our head. I can see the water line on the side there. And you can tell that the water would have been over our head. If we're in this pickup truck right now, the water would be over our camera. And that's how high. And there's a bunch of boats here too, man. Look at that boat down there. Look at that boat tag. They should have used that ratchet strap, man. Incredible losses for people, but and there's boat docks everywhere too. There's just boat docks pile up all over the city, so that's what storm surge does, unfortunately. But we will recover, guys. We will have homeless people out here headbutting people in no time. Back to the normal, the new normal, which will be cleaning up and trying to bring Fort Myers back to the beautiful city it always has been. Fort Myers has made a lot of progress. This downtown is one of the sweetest downtowns in Florida. We just need a Starbucks to open up again.
Yeah.
I love how people are blatantly just taking stuff too. You ever seen that? There's like people just randomly taking stuff,
Yeah.
like looting, like out, like openly, like looting. You just see something like and take it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of news reporters out here, independent,
Yeah.
you know. But I just feel like at this day and age, if you can do such great videos with a GoPro or a freaking an iPhone,
Yeah.
when you see these people walking around with like these giant setups, they need 5 people to record a video.
Yeah.
They need 5 people to make one video. Like how
Ridiculous.
and then they need 3 more people to edit. I do my own editing. I do my own everything. You know, and it's more relatable. Surprisingly, it's more relatable to the people. This restaurant's open. There's just people hanging out there. Do they have food in front of them, or they're just hanging out there? How are they open if they like? I think they're just hanging out. There's no way.
see hostess at front doors.
They actually opened. Would they have coffee or something?
Yeah.
Wasn't this restaurant like flooded out? I guess they brought food from somewhere else. There will be restaurants open somewhere. I know that.
Yeah.
I know my buddy that has that restaurant in Naples Park. He opens that crap up no matter what. That thing's gonna be open. He turns on a generator, brings his workers in, and starts selling pizza to everybody in Florida. He don't play that. Never let a hurricane bring you down, slow you down. He sells more than ever during hurricanes.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses do better than ever during hurricanes. But as you guys can see, downtown Fort Myers, it's gonna take a little bit to get back to normal.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We're gonna rebuild bigger, better, and we're gonna bring homeless people from Baltimore to headbutt more tourists. Yeah. I just couldn't stand the radio. I couldn't believe I was listening to the radio, like, and I'm like, dude, there's so much. Listening to a radio to these days is like listening to a lawyer. You know, it's like, disclaimer, please, before you walk, make sure there's no labels on the ground. And when you walk outside your house, and then I get it, like, there's information, and then there's safety, and I get that. You gotta have all. You can't get getting hurt. But then there's like another layer of like to it that is kind of feels fake almost.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, guys. So that's downtown Fort Myers. As you can see, there's a lot of work to be done, and we will get it done. And hopefully, the homeless guy that headbutts people in downtown Fort Myers gets his crap together and finds his way out here to start headbutting construction workers in no time. Checking out from Full Metal.